This is a PSA. Well, actually, it's a podcast called PSA. Hosted by a man named Justin Jarzombek. Please, don't stop what you're doing, just listen. If you ever have to shit during the duration of his ramblings, please do not hesitate to listen as you do so. In addition, do not feel bad for the man you are about to listen to. Contrary to popular belief, he does not have a mental disorder, his brain just works like this. For he is painfully self-aware.
Hello. Welcome back. Wow, we're back. Okay, episode 3. Welcome everyone to PSA, Painfully Self-Aware. I'm your host, Justin Jarzombek. Yeah, man, cool. I took a week off, which isn't the best thing to do when you're trying to start a podcast, you know? To take a vacation after the second week, that's probably not the best thing to do. But I did it. Had some business things that needed to be taken care of and wasn't sure if the podcast was going to conflict with that. Okie doke. Cool, man. I'm liking it. I'm loving it. I'm loving this podcast. I'm loving this YouTube thing. I'm loving having this other podcast with my homie Michael Campion from Fuller House, who's also my roommate. That wasn't just a flex. That wasn't just a name drop for all you 12-year-olds listening. That wasn't just that. I'm loving having it. I'm loving this studio I'm in, even though we'll be gone in a month. We'll be back in LA. We'll be collabing, man. Oh, we got a ton of collabs waiting to happen, okay? Tons of TikTokers and YouTubers you know and love are going to be on this podcast, and that's just a straight fact. Give me 1 month. Give me 1 month. They're already lining up. I already got a list, okay? I got a list like I'm a club. Man, I should get a bouncer for my Instagram, huh? Someone get me a bouncer for my Instagram DMs right now, because I'm a club, because people are lining up to be on this pod. Every TikToker is like impressed that I have a podcast. I don't know. Actually, listen, I don't know if they're impressed or if they just, I don't know. Because they're like, whoa, man, you have a podcast? I don't know if they're fake being impressed just so they can be on it and so that I have to do all the heavy lifting of like recording, editing, and doing all that. I'm not sure. Or if they're legit impressed, but it's really not hard. You buy a microphone, and you put it in voice memos on your Mac, if that's what you want. I don't use voice memos. I could use voice memos. It'd probably be a lot harder. Man, voice memos is weird, huh? This is how we dig. We dig for bits, man. We dig here. Hey, voice memos is weird, huh? Just gonna say that the first time I go and do stand up after the pandemic, everything's gonna be gone from my mind. I'm gonna have to resort back to level 1. Hey guys, I was using voice memos the other day. Voice memos is weird, huh? What's the deal with that airline food? I made a TikTok yesterday and I took it down after 30 minutes. It was pretty much the prequel to how the guy. How how the general comedian thing is like, what's the deal with that airline food? That's like the general comedian. Hey, guy, your family ever annoy you? You ever go home for Christmas and your family's annoying? Such general comedian bits. You ever go home for the holidays and your family's just so annoying? That ever happen to you guys? You guys relating on this? Hey, how do you get to your family on the holidays? How do you get there? Oh, well, you take a plane. Of course. And hey, guys, when you're on that plane, what is the deal with that airline food? One of the first bits I ever wrote for stand-up was a bit about the exit row. And I know, okay, listen, if you're looking into getting into comedy, I'm still obviously getting into it. But one thing I've learned is everyone does an airplane bit when they first start. So don't do that, okay? Unless you have something really niche or it's a story about an airplane. Because that's too relatable, because everyone goes on airplanes. Hey, it's pretty uncomfortable being on an airplane, huh? Yeah, man. Yeah, it is. It's really uncomfortable being on an airplane. Continue. You know how many open mic comedians I saw do this almost the same exact bit about an airplane? I literally wrote that bit about the exit row on an airplane. It was pretty good. I liked it. I was a fan. It was like how I'm not equipped to be in the exit row for sure, and everyone just lies about being in the exit row because when disaster strikes, you know you're just going to clam up. You're not going to know what to do. They ask you, "Can I get a verbal confirmation?" Hey, can I get a verbal confirmation, please? If when this plane is going down at 4,000 miles an hour and you have 4 seconds to open that door and jump out, and you have a small little window where you could jump out and hit the ground before the plane hits the ground, and you only break both your legs and then you survive, let me get a verbal confirmation that you're up for that. Dude, I'm 17. I'm 17. Did you know that? I'm sitting in the exit row and I'm 17 at this time. I just learned how to drive a car. Just learned it a year ago. Did you know that? The government just let me drive a car a year ago, and now you're saying I have to save all these people? I have to be major. I have to, dang it, man. What was it? What was the punchline? Oh, yeah. You're telling me I just learned to drive a car a year ago, and now I have to be Rambo for these people? Now I have to save all of them? Wrong. Incorrect. I just wanted some extra leg room. And guess what? That's all I'm going to get is extra leg room, because if this plane goes down, me sitting in the exit row and giving you a verbal confirmation isn't going to be anything. I'm really speaking like Vince Vaughn today on this podcast, huh? Just fast and staccato-y. I was going to try to do a Vince Vaughn impression. That's not going to happen. What was I talking about before? What was I talking about before? The TikTokers, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah. Voice memos. It's really not that hard to have your own podcast. So I guess they just want to hop on. I don't know if they're impressed. I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah, I guess they just want to hop on because I do all the heavy lifting. And that's all good. That's all good to me. Because look, exposure for exposure. I would love to talk to these people. I would love to talk to them for an hour. First of all, I don't know if it's going to be awkward. I don't want to have the really good guests on first because I'm like, wow, I probably need to shake these awkwardnesses off. But like, I will have the good guests on first because I'm not going to be picky, and I know I won't be awkward, but it's just like, that's the thing in the back of my head. Will I have the good guests on first because I know it'll be kind of awkward or not? Oops, paranoid. Got to check if the camera's working. Yep, it is. Oops, paranoid. Got to check if the camera's working all the time. Got to do it. Because guess what? The camera's my phone. Because I had someone ship my camera back to me from LA because I won't be there for another month. I thought I was only going to be in Florida for like a week or 2 weeks. But looks like I'm here for 2 months now. So I had someone ship my camera back to me, and guess what? I forgot to tell them to also ship my camera charger back, the battery charger. So I'm here, stuck, filming it on my iPhone still, which is fine. I would just prefer if it didn't, because then I could have the little flippy thing up. I could have the little flippy thing up of the camera. I could have the little flippy thing, and that way I could see if it's recording. The flippy thing on the camera is a godsend. It's literally a godsend. I'm so glad that they have the flippy thing on the camera. You know what I'm talking about? The little screen that flips up that you can see yourself, like if you're vlogging. Guys, this isn't actually a studio. This is an insane asylum. This is a padded room, actually, and I somehow snuck my phone in here, and now I'm talking to it, and they let me upload it to YouTube for government research. Because that's what it feels like, what I'm doing. It feels like I'm in an insane asylum in a padded room, and I'm talking to myself, and I'm literally trying to make myself laugh during all of this. Whoa. We're doing it. I don't even care, man. Insane asylum or not, we're here. We're doing it, and it's big. It's big. What did my website say I had? 286 listeners in 2 episodes. Yeah, baby. Let's go. Let's get it. Come on. Oh my God. What did I write down? Oh, okay. I wrote down 4 things today. And hopefully we're going to be able to get to all 4 of them. But I don't know, because we're already 8 minutes in and I haven't even touched on one of them. I'm like Crystalia, baby. Saying I haven't even touched on one of them. All right, here's number 1. Old people love looking at stuff, dude. They love looking. I was heading to the gym, and my gym, it's in a hospital, right? It's like a health center that's connected to the hospital, but it's a really nice gym. And once again, I don't need to remind you that I do go to the gym, because if you're watching the video podcast, you can tell. And if you're not, if you're just listening, you can tell by my Adam's apple that it's beefy. You can tell that my Adam's apple is beefy just from my voice. You can tell that once a month I probably work out my neck. At the least. That's how beefy my Adam's apple is, right? Right? If I was doing live stream right now of this podcast, I'd tell people to put poggers in the chat if they think my Adam's apple's beefy. Because it is. Because you can tell from my voice, right? So I don't need to remind you that I go to the gym, but when I do go to the gym, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you every week on the podcast that I do go to the gym, because usually that's where all my stories take place, or all my stories in my head. That's where they start. So anyway, was walking to the gym, right? Saw these old people right in front of me, because my gym is in a hospital, pretty much. Saw these old people were probably going to get checked out. Who cares? Whatever. Who cares what they were doing? And dude, they were just looking around, saying, wow, isn't that nice? Looking at, pointing at stuff, there was like a fish tank. They were just pointing at the fish tank. I mean, dude, old people, they just love looking at stuff, man. And how are we going to be when we're old? Because for so many years, old people just looked at stuff. They just looked. They just observed. And now, not to sound like one of these old people, not to sound like I'm 4,000 years old, not to sound like it, but we just look at our phones all day. Didn't like that I said that. Didn't like that I said that. Didn't like that I sounded like I was 5,000 years old, okay? I didn't like that. I didn't like that I sounded like a mom, okay? But it's true. What are we going to do when that happens? And are we going to continue to get the new iPhone whenever it comes out? Are we going to be 90 and get the iPhone 74? I don't know, man. I could not tell you. I have the iPhone 12. We're on the 12 right now. It's got 3 cameras, bro. How much? What are they going to keep changing? Next, the next thing they're going to go back to having a flip phone. We're going to have a flip phone, and also in the box is going to come a camera. It's going to be 2 separate things again. It's going to come back. Old people just love looking, though. They just love looking and talking to people about what they're looking at. And that's such a fact. Literally look at an old people and just watch them look. They just look and observe. Sometimes they don't even say anything. They just like to look at stuff, man. Great for them. I'd love to just look at stuff. I try sometimes. People are like, oh yeah, I'm a people watcher. What? You're a people watcher? You sit there on a bench and you just watch people? If I saw you doing that all day, I think I'd go up and I'd stab you. If it was my choice. If we were living in some type of purge type of country where I could do that, where we only killed people for doing stuff that we thought was really weird, I would kill all the people watchers. If that's in your Tinder bio, if you say buyer, that's not what it is. Not a bayou. We're not in Louisiana. There isn't a Tinder bayou, right? Because we're not in Louisiana. Maybe you have your Instagram bio when you're in Louisiana, but here we have a bio. Don't put people watcher in your Tinder bio, okay? Because if you do, you're instantly weird, and if we were in a purge type of America where we could create our own laws by saying you kill the person that you think is really weird, once a year you get one person that you get to kill that's really weird. I would each year kill another person that says people watcher in their Tinder bio. I would never kill anyone. I would never obviously kill anyone. That's a given. I'm not crazy. Do I exist in a padded room to you guys? Of course. But if we lived in this is just the situation, if we lived in a purge type of America where actually you were required once a year to kill the weirdest person that you know, I'd go find someone who considers themselves a people watcher and says that's a part of their personality, and I'd kill them. Yeah, man, I think everyone's a people watcher. I think everyone is. But you don't need to specify that for yourself. I think 99% of people are people watchers. Obviously. Everyone observes things. There's a ton of people who are... I guess there's a good percentage of people who are pretty non-observant. But I would like to say... I would say that most people are pretty observant. Cool. Old people love looking at stuff. That's number one. Good gracious. This one's going off the rails today. We're going legit off the rails. It's been 2 weeks of just pent up stuff, man. 2 weeks of pent up stuff. Just pent up aggression. No aggression. We're not aggressive here. Yeah, man, I'm very excited to have some TikTokers on here, though. That's going to be cool. Have some interviews. I've seen some people saying, hey, you should have some people to interview. Well, obviously, there's going to be tons of episodes where I'm not interviewing people because I like to come on here and just ramble. And I don't mean come on here like the mic. I mean come on here like the podcast, okay? What if when I turn 40 and these are still up, I'm questioned in a court of law in front of a jury of my peers? What if that happens? That won't happen. Because guess what? I'm not talking about anything serious. I'm literally talking about people watchers and how old people love to look at stuff. If I sing a song with my own mouth here, will it get copyrighted? Probably, because I have pipes, man. I have fucking pipes. I have pipes like Ellie Goulding. I had a hard then. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. I bet you guys were thinking, I bet you guys who are listening to this, maybe in the car, you're like, whoa, what the heck? Did this podcast just instantly, did it stop with no warning and then Lights by Ellie Goulding came on and skipped to the middle part? Whoa, wait. Did this podcast just stop with no warning and then Lights by Ellie Goulding skipped right to the middle right after? I had a hard then, but the queen has been overthrown. Yeah, pipes. Put some vibrato on that at the end, too. And no, okay. The podcast did not stop, and then Ellie, I just was singing. I was singing. And you guys watching the video podcast know that. Okay. Wow. Another thing I put is The Weeknd. I just wanted to talk about The Weeknd because I love The Weeknd. I don't love The Weeknd as in the singer also, if you were confused. Abel Tesfaye. Love him, and I'm going to ramble about him a little bit. If you don't really know him, I'm sure you do. If you don't know him, you're lying, because I'm sure you do. Remember that song, I Can't Feel My Face? I can't feel my face when I'm with you. Yeah, that's him, okay? If you don't know him, if you're not in touch with the times, you probably know that song, and that's him. He's great. He put out this new album. And, oh, yeah, and we already talked about this, I think, on the first episode, about the Grammys being dog shit. About the Grammys being dog shit, and if I ever was nominated for a Grammy, I would throw up on stage because of what they're doing to The Weeknd right now. I would literally have pent-up aggression for, let's say, 20 years. Let's say 20 years. I'd go, hey, guys, hey, Grammys, remember when in 2020, when you guys didn't nominate The Weeknd for After Hours for his album? Fuck you. And then I'd throw up on the stage. That's what I'd do. I'd become the most successful pop artist of the 2020s. At the end of 2020, they'd give me an award for one of my albums or songs, and I'd go on there and I'd say, hey guys, remember 10 years ago when you didn't give Abel Tesfaye, aka The Weeknd, a Grammy nom? Yeah. Here's for that. And I'd take a fat dump on the stage and I'd also throw up on it. Okay? And that's not fake. That's not fake. If I, in the next year or two, come into a extremely large sum of money to where I'm in the position that I can do that and not work for 10 years and only work on a music career, I'd take so many singing lessons. Correct? I would. Just so I could go to the Grammys in 10 years and poop on their stage. The Weeknd's great. I love The Weeknd. He's fantastic. He's got a music video out. It's called Too Late. It's insane. It's insanity. It's literal insanity. These two girls are in it and they're driving and they clearly just got plastic surgery done. They're all wrapped up. Their faces all wrapped up. Listen, I'm going to explain this entire music video for you, so strap in. These two bitches in a G-Wagon, right? They're riding down the street. They're listening to one of the Weeknd's songs, actually, faded in the background. And their faces are all like wrapped up and stuff, like they just got nose jobs, whatever. Like tons of stuff done to their face, right? Plastic surgery, for sure. Because that's what The Weeknd is talking about in some of his album. So they're walking down the street. They're driving down the street. And the girl that's driving goes, "Oh my God, what is that?" And they stop. And The Weeknd's head is in the middle of the road. Just his head, right? Now, this is a thing throughout the entire album, is that his head is just everywhere. He's just getting head everywhere. His head is everywhere, right? So, in the middle of the street, these girls go and pick up The Weeknd's head and put it in their G-Wagon. And then they go home. What are their plans with it? Who knows? Who knows? Not me. This is a wild ride. This is a wild, wild ride that we're on right now. A crazy opening to a TOA. This is a crazy opening to a music video, right? So they go home. And they're playing with the head in the pool, and they're kissing it, and they're licking it. What? I don't know what the metaphor behind that is. That these girls are so insane for The Weeknd that he gets so much vagine, that he gets so much of it, that these girls would literally just take his head and kiss it? Whoa. If that's the case, show me your ways, Mr. Weeknd. That's crazy. Is he so blinded that he thinks that would actually happen? I wonder if he thinks that would actually happen. I wonder I don't know. I wonder if he literally thinks that would actually happen. If he was to die and get decapitated, would girls kiss him and lick his face just being a head? Man, that is the dream, huh? To literally be so attractive. To be so attractive that if your body was separated from your head, girls would just lick your head. I guess that's a dream, huh? That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool to think of yourself like that, in my opinion. Nah, it's not really that cool. But anyway, if he legit thinks that, kind of weird. But I don't think he does. I think there's a deeper meaning behind it that I'm not really understanding, or I don't really care to discuss. Or not really discuss, but get into, right? Think about that much. So, they're doing that. And then they have this grand idea. They look at each other and they go, "Oh my God." And we don't know what's about to happen, but they're laying newspaper down in their house, right? In their big fat mansion, they're laying newspaper down. They're laying newspaper down in their house, and we go, "Whoa, what's going on?" They still have the head. They have The Weeknd's head, right? And then they hire a male stripper to come over. Listen, no hate. Of course, no judgment. But they hire this guy to come over. And then he starts dancing. He's dancing. He's doing his thing. He takes off his shirt, whatever. Who cares? And then one of these hoes from behind comes up and slits his wrist. What? Comes up, slits his wrist. He's bleeding everywhere. Then you realize, oh, that's why they put the newspaper down. Okay? He's bleeding everywhere. He's dying. He's obviously dying. Chops his head off. Puts The Weeknd's head on the stripper's body. And then they continue to have coitus. They have coitus. How's that even possible? It's two dead people you're having it with. Is that genius? Is that a genius music video? I wish I knew the deeper meaning. I could look it up, but I'm not going to. We're going to analyze this ourselves. In my opinion, what this means is that The Weeknd thinks, or this is true because I've heard that everyone thinks The Weeknd is attractive. Obviously, I mean, The Weeknd's an attractive guy, but I didn't think he was so insanely attractive like this. So the deeper meaning to me, does this mean that The Weeknd thinks these girls are so nuts for him that even if he was dead and just ahead, that these girls would still have coitus with him? Don't know. I really hope that's the deeper meaning, though, because that would be absolutely insane. That would be fucking nuts. That would be absolutely nuts. I literally been thinking about that musical. Yeah, that's a musical actually. It's called The Weekend. It's called The Weekend. It's a musical, and it's about two girls who have coitus with The Weeknd's head, and it's 3 hours long, and there's no intermission, and you have to say the entire time. And also, they only play "Too Late" by The Weeknd, the one song. They only play it, but it's only for 3 hours, and it's slowed down all the way to 3 hours. So it takes about 20 minutes for him to say every word. I don't know if you knew that. That'd be a weird-ass play, man. I hope that's what he was thinking. I really genuinely hope that's what he was thinking. That's so funny. That's so funny if that's what he was thinking. The Weeknd's crazy, man. He's got a ton of music videos like that, right? Dude, also, I don't know how people listen to, like, the old Weeknd. Like, his old albums, I really don't understand how he does it. He is, like, the horniest person I've ever heard in my life. And yeah, you can get that from his new music and from his music videos. Who cares, who cares, who cares? But if you go back and listen, it's literally, listen, I'm vulgar as shit, and I know it, okay? And I'm aware of that. I get scared when I listen to his stuff. I don't understand how guys who are straight can listen to that. And I'm not saying toxic masculinity. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying, like, whoa, that's a lot, bro. That's a lot of descriptiveness that I don't really want to be hearing from you. Like, dude, how do people like The Weeknd and like Chris Brown, who is their audience, man? Girls, I guess, with like that old stuff, because I don't want to listen to that. I don't know like old stuff. Dude, he used to just do whole songs where he was just describing smashing some hoe. I don't mean hoe derogatorily. I mean because he had so many of them, probably. I mean, that's crazy. He literally, oh my God, I don't know. I want to, what are his thoughts on this? Okay, we're going to have like 5 TikTokers on this podcast, and then we're going to have The Weeknd after. I'm going to say, hey man, why were you so horny when you were 20? Crazy. I think he started like music when he was like 17 or something. I don't know. This isn't a place to get facts. This is not a podcast where you should get facts from. I don't think anyone was actually looking for facts here. The Weeknd, man. He's great. I was supposed to see him on tour. Don Toliver was supposed to open, and it was going to be fantastic, and then COVID shut it down. I wonder if The Weeknd, when he goes back on tour, I wonder if he'll have the same opener Don Toliver. I was thinking about that today. I was like, what if Don Toliver messes up so bad? Like, what? I don't understand what he could do. I wonder if that's why rappers don't post that much on Instagram and stuff, because like, oh yeah, if like they've just like vlogged their normal life, we'd be like, whoa, what the what? You're not allowed to do that. Because when we hear it in songs and we hear all the stuff they do, it's fine. But when we see it, I don't think it's fine. It's probably not fine. But we don't know because they don't do that because they're smart. This is nuts. I miss doing stand-up so much. I wonder if I could do this podcast live and people would enjoy it. I wonder if I could even do it live, because part of the allure for me here is that I'm alone and I'm like speaking into a void right now. Nah, an audience would give me just more energy and it'd be great. It'd be fantastic. What if I just ran out of stuff to talk about? I never run out of stuff to talk about. What can I even talk about? Sports. I'm looking at my bag and it says Chicago Bears on it, so we're going to talk about it. Sports. What are my opinions on sports? I like to like sports. I don't like to watch sports because it takes forever. And guess what? The fourth quarter is like the only one that matters, because if you're watching it and in the first quarter one team gets 40 points and the other team gets 0, like, yeah, I mean, like, you can assume that they're not going to come back easily, but then why do you sit and watch the rest of the game? I don't know how people do that. Like, I can watch the Super Bowl, I guess. It's got to be like a good game. It can't be like not entertaining. I can't just watch it just to watch it. You know, and that's the problem. I don't want to sit there for 3.5 hours and wonder if it's entertaining and wonder if it's going to be entertaining. That's the problem. It's got to be entertaining, and I don't want to sit there and wait for it to happen. I know a show is going to be entertaining. I know it because it's been on for a while. I don't have to take any chances. With a football game, I have to take such a big chance because it's great. It's great when your team wins. That's awesome. But there's a 50% chance that your team doesn't win, right? And then also, okay, but I could watch an entertaining game where the Bears don't win, right? But I can't watch a non-entertaining game and the Bears win. I don't care about that. Not fun. Not great. I don't know. That's how you know I'm about to get into a bit that I'm digging really hard for. Man, water bottles be like, how do water bottles maintain their shape for so long? I don't know, man. I don't know. It's crazy. You'd think, they melt or something, but no, the plastic that they use is actually pretty good. How do? Nuts. Why don't we go into my little stand-up notes, and let's see what we got in there, man. Those are just ideas, kind of the same thing. Oh, but first, let's talk about TikTok. Let's talk about TikTok, okay? TikTok, I've decided, there was a little bit where I was like, man, I don't really want to do TikTok anymore. But then I was like, come on, that's like the only place where people are, that's where I'm growing my following for this kind of stuff, which I love doing. Of course, that's where I'm growing my following for YouTube. That's where I'm growing my Instagram following. Like, I have to do TikTok. It was becoming sort of a burden for a little bit that it felt like, and that's why I was only posting like once every 3 or 4 days. Which is like pretty much like you died on TikTok. If you don't post for like 3 days on TikTok, you're dead. Obviously, you're dead. You got run over by a truck because people post like 7 times a day on that app. Just so much content on that app. Hours, days, months, definitely years worth of content. But TikTok, so I start going, okay, yeah, I'm going to make more content on TikTok. I'm going to do it. And so then I do, and I'm racking up the views as I do, and I'm fucking raking up the views, okay? I'm raking up the views. And then they update their community guidelines things, and if you're a comedian, if you're a comedy person on the app, you're fucked up the ass. If you're a comedy person on the app, doesn't matter if you're gay, straight, in between, pansexual, who cares? Doesn't matter what you are. TikTok doesn't care because you're fucked up the ass. Okay? It's awful. They've updated their community guidelines things, and it's terrible. It's the worst. They updated them, and it's like, you can't do anything. I don't even think you can curse on it really anymore. Like, what? I made a video about me eating sushi. I said, man, what is this white people shit? Cream cheese in my sushi, and then I ate it, and I went, ugh! And it was getting a ton of views. It got like 9,000 likes in like 10 minutes. And then it got taken down for violence. What? Yeah, violence against anyone who likes good food. Because cream cheese shouldn't be in sushi, first off. And I had people telling me, well, you've clearly never had a Philadelphia roll. Man, why the shit would I want a Philadelphia roll if it's got cream cheese in it? Hey, next time you have a California roll, dip it in ranch for me, will ya? Because that's the same thing. Okay? Hey, next time you get a spicy salmon roll with eel sauce on it, dip it in milk, okay? Dip it in milk, and then tell me. Because then I'll go, oh, that's just a Florida roll. That's just how we do it in Florida. Dude, I don't care how you do it in Philadelphia. There's one thing... I was about to say there's one thing good that came out of Philadelphia, but then I sounded like Trump. Bad things happen in Philadelphia, okay? He literally said that in a debate. Like, what? Bad things happen in Philadelphia. Bad things happen, hey, everywhere. But as far as I know, there's only one thing that came out of Philadelphia. No, I'm not going to talk about the cheesesteaks because I don't even really like cheesesteaks that much. I like a beef from Chicago way more. And I don't mean to slander Philly. I've never been to Philly. I'm sure it's a great city. I'm sure they have some great food and some great people. But also I'm sure they have some shit people, just like everywhere has great people and also shit people. Oh, we love that Southern hospitality. Most people over here are racist. Not most, but there's a lot more than other places. So Southern hospitality, mostly if you're white. Not saying everyone in the South is racist. I'm saying obviously that's a stereotype, but it's not really a stereotype because I drive down in Florida every single day and there's Trump merch being sold and he's not even the president anymore. But anyway, the only good thing that came out of Philadelphia was It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That's not the only good thing, but it's like the best thing. That show is amazing. And guess what? It literally sweeps the fact. You know what? I lied. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is such a good show that it sweeps the fact that they put cream cheese in their sushi roll. It sweeps it over. It's donezo. Get it out. Who even cares? Because It's Always Sunny is such a great show. You know what? Philly's actually a fantastic place, even though I've never been again, and I'm sure it's a fantastic city. I'm sure there's great people, but also there's shit people, just like everywhere else. I'm sure. But It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is such a great show that it sweeps it over and makes it a good place, okay? So I take back most of the things I said. But that's disgusting to put cream cheese in your sushi. It literally was so mushy. Who even thought of that? You know what would go good with this raw fish and rice? Cream cheese. It's like a bagel. No. I don't even like it when like lox with cream cheese on it. Like how Jewish people eat it. Jewish delicacy. Lox. It's gross. Like the thin salmon. I want my salmon beefy, man. I want my salmon thick. What did I say was beefy in the beginning of this podcast? Oh, yeah, my Adam's apple. Yeah, man, I want my salmon thick. Thick. Not thin on a bagel. On an everything bagel. That's just like 5 stinky things going in your mouth. Hey, we got an everything bagel, which is really stinky, and also some thin salmon, which is really, really stinky, and then some cream cheese, which is actually pretty stinky. Do you want to eat it? Yeah, all those stinky things, that all adds up to be a pretty good thing, actually. But you know what's stinky that I like? Listen, my best friend, he told me that, he told me in like 5th grade, he was like, hey, you know it's impossible to hate the smell of your own farts? And ever since then, my brain has been messed up. Ever since then, my brain has been it's gone bonkers. It's literally gone bonkers because every time I fart, I go, I like it. Because before I was like, man, all farts are bad. And then he was like, hey man, you ever fart and then under a blanket and then put your face under the blanket and then just smell it? And I was like, I can't say that I have. But I didn't think it was a weird thing because I was just like, I don't really know anything. I'm in 5th grade. I don't really know. I was like, I don't really know how the world works. Do people do that? Do normal people do that? And he said, yeah, man, it's actually impossible for you to not like the smell of your own farts. And then I went home and I did it and I put my face under the warm blanket where I farted. And guess what? It was awesome. And don't lie to me in this comment section right now. Don't lie to me and say that you haven't done that and went, wow, it's awesome. Don't lie to me. Boy, girl, who cares? Because, dude, I'm almost 20, and I'm like, and I still do it. I do it shamefully. I'll still do it shamefully, even if I'm alone. I'll still do it shamefully. Do adults do that? I'm sure adults do that. You know what? Fuck it. I'm an adult. I do it. I'm an adult, and also I do it. How about that? I'm legally an adult, and I put my face under my covers when I fart and I smell it. That's weird. I don't know. What else do I got in the chamber here? What was I talking about? TikTok? Oh, yeah. TikTok. Come on, man. Fix those community guidelines. I got those taken down. I got the tweet reading videos. I did a tweet reading one, and it got taken down. Did you know that? Did you know that, guys? It got taken down. That's why I haven't done one in forever, because I'm scared it's going to get taken down, and then I'm just going to get shadow banned for the rest of my life. It got taken down for harassment and bullying. How? I'm reading what they wrote and raising my eyebrows and going, ah, ha, 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 ha. And all of them have DM'd me and said, hey, man, this is hilarious when you do that. Did you know that? All of them except Mr. Bryce Hall, which I'm not going to talk about him for a while, because I bashed on him far too much, in my opinion. So why did you do that, TikTok? Oh, man. I can't wait to get back to LA, man. So many great things going to be happening in LA. I know it's all shut down. Who cares? So many great things are going to be happening. Lots of collabs coming on the way with TikTok creators and YouTubers and comedians, man. So excited. So excited. Maybe do some outdoor comedy. Maybe do some of that, even though it sucks. Dude, I did an outdoor open mic once, and it was on the sidewalk outside of a restaurant, and cars were just zipping by. It was like near a 50-mile-an-hour road. You couldn't hear anything. People were honking. You couldn't hear any of the punchlines. It was the weirdest thing ever, man. I can't wait till all this stuff is over, and I've never said that out loud because I don't want to sound like one of those people, but I guess I'm one of those people. I can't wait till all this COVID stuff is over. So weird, bro. So weird. COVID really put a damper on things, didn't it? Yeah, man, it did. It put a damper on things for everyone. Ugh. I'm not going to get into COVID. That's stupid. Everyone's talked about COVID for the past 7-8 months. Who wants to hear about it anymore? Not this guy. I saw someone posted on TikTok. It was like, it's low-key a pandemic now. It's like, yeah, it is, and that's the sad part, is that it is, because it doesn't need to low-key be a pandemic anymore. You know what? Done talking about it. Hate when people talk about it. Hate when people talk about it. Really hate it. Just deal with it. How about that? Just deal with it. Say you can't wait for it to be over and deal with it and put a mask on. That's it. That's all you can do. So just shut up. I hate when people talk about it for so long. They talk about it for literally so long like it's the only thing going on in their life. Oh, what? You have to Zoom at work now? You can't go to the club? You never went to the club before COVID. What? You have to... What? What can't you do now? What can't you do? I can't go on vacation. I think you'll be okay. I think you'll be mighty fine. It's not that you can't complain about it. It's like people complain about it, and it's like the only thing they talk about ever. Woo. Okay, that was a rambly one, huh, guys? All right. Alrighty then. Well, I'm Justin Jarzombek. This was PSA, Painfully Self-Aware. I'll see you guys next Monday. Every Monday, this podcast is coming out. Mondays, this podcast, PSA. Wednesdays, Thinking with Both Heads. Me, Michael Campion from Fuller House. We have a podcast every Wednesday. It's a fantastic time. And new YouTube videos every weekend. It could be a cringe report. It might be a sketch. Who knows? It might be a song. It might be a music video, man. Starting that up. Yeah. Exciting things in the works, man. Thank you so much for listening. Catch you guys next Monday. Peace.